It is time once again for the Morning Mindset. My name is Kerry Green, and I welcome you to this Morning Mindset devotional. It's time for us to get our mindset set, if you want to say it that way. We want to get ourselves oriented to face this day in a godly way. And that's what the Morning Mindset is here for. I pray you're doing this in other ways as well, not just relying on this Morning Mindset. But if it's helpful to you, I'm thankful for that as well. I hear from people periodically about how the Morning Mindset is impacting their lives. And I encourage you to let me know as well. I would love to interact with you. You can reach out to me, Kerry, C-A-R-E-Y, at kerrygreen.com. Just send me an email. I would love to interact. All right, today we're looking at Psalm chapter 97. And we're actually only going to look at a very small portion of the chapter, verses 6 and 7. These verses stand out to me just because of some things I've been observing in our culture lately. Let's read the verses, and then we'll come back and talk about them a bit. Psalm 97, verses 6 and 7. The heavens proclaim His righteousness, and all the peoples see His glory. All worshippers of images are put to shame, who make their boast in worthless idols. Worship Him, all you gods. Now, this is very interesting because the passage is really comparing and contrasting the one true God with idols, with other false gods. And you know, back in their day, they would often, in certain cultures, create their own gods. And when you say it like that, it is a silly statement to even consider, but it really happened. They would fashion out of wood or gold or stone an image, and then they would erect it somewhere in a public place typically, or in a temple, and people would go in to this image with offerings, with sacrifices, with devotion, and worship it. Now, of course, they believed that the image represented an actual being, an actual spiritual being of some sort that they were worshiping. But God did not see it that way. God saw it as what it really was, because there was no spiritual being behind that image. It was just an image. And so God repeatedly says they are worshipers of images. They are crafting something of their own hands and making it a god. And so this passage that we just read contrasts the true and living God to that sort of a practice. It says, the heavens themselves proclaim God's righteousness, and all the people see His glory. Now, when we look into the heavens, we see the stars, the planets, the comets, and the meteors and meteorites, I guess, is when they hit the earth. But we see these shooting stars, which are meteors, skimming across the Earth's atmosphere. And we see those things and wonder, you hear people saying, wow, did you see that shooting star? Look at the moon. We exclaim at these things. And what we are seeing is the glory of God on display, the glory of the true and living God. Those things we see with our human eye, those are not God. They are not gods with a little g. They are the works of the hand of the God of gods, the King of kings, the one who created everything. And we're seeing His glory displayed through what He made. And then the contrast that the psalmist is giving us is that image compared to people bowing down to wood and stone and gold that they've made with their own hands. Isn't it just a pitiful comparison? And yet, here's the kicker. Our culture has its own gods as well. Celebrities, sporting events, political figures, you name it. There are things we have created, including success and self-esteem and things of that nature, that we bow down and worship. I know that's hard to swallow, but it's the truth, isn't it? Let's reorient our hearts to remember the God who created the heavens is our God, and we are to worship Him